This is a bigger question, not just about this world, but fantasy in general. I feel like there has been, and you are very, very apt to answer this because you've been making D&D for so long, for several publications, in fact. What is the arc of fantasy? Have you seen fantasy change in the last few years in terms of what people expect, what people want? Has it become more serious? Has it been more comical? Has it become a little bit more like scientific in a way?
D&D has always been able to stretch the limits of traditional medieval fantasy. I mean, all you have to look at is, multiple years of Dragon magazine covers to see just how flexible D&D can be. Fantasy in general, I think tonally it can be impacted by the time in which we live in terms of what the world is going through. If there's a lot of turmoil in the world, if there's a lot of unhappiness with politics or the political situation, fantasy tends to reflect that, like all art does. And so it takes on one of two tones. It can go if the world is getting darker, the fantasy can get darker with it, or fantasy goes toward escapism and tries to pull you in the other direction. I think right now, when you look at the fantasy properties out there, Game of Thrones has kind of played out, and now we're seeing, the Witcher series come out, which is Game of Thrones with it's like the anti-Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's got that quirky humor.
Yes, it's got this quirky humor. It's got this, the characters interact with each other with a type of friction that's different from what you saw in Game of Thrones, like the Geralt and Jaskier pairings. You would never see that necessarily combination in that. D&D, we are affected by the world around us. I am affected by the world around us. I'm sure that reflects in my storytelling. With each story, we're trying to kind of send a little bit of a subtext message out there into the world. But I don't think I know. Like, I couldn't predict where fantasy would go next year or the year after. We just have to wait to see what comes out and what plays off of it. And then what is fantasy? My definition, what qualifies as fantasy to me doesn't necessarily match what somebody else considers fantasy.
Right.
I'm kind of winging it. Everybody is. And occasionally, something enters the zeitgeist and it sort of, incepts itself into the minds of several creatives at once. And so you see these weird symmetries emerge, or these weird coincidences of style.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not something you can control or predict.
Pre-order now on dndbeyond.com and receive exclusive bonus content with everything that you need to start your own adventure.